All right, y'all. Everyone, welcome to Collaboration Over Competition. This is the podcast striving to show how far we can take things when we come together to collaborate rather than competing. Now, this podcast is sponsored by Greatness Vodka and Levels Foundation Barbershop. You can check all the information in the link below. Now, this is season 2, episode 4. We got a very, very, very special guest, social media influencer, comedian, and community activist, Charleston White. How you doing, my man?
Hey, well, I'm doing well, brother. Appreciate you for having me.
No problem. I appreciate you taking the time out your busy schedule to see we're here today. And big shout out to your manager, Juanita, for making this podcast
man.
smoothly.
Yeah, shout out to boss lady.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. All right, to start the podcast, man, we always ask these first couple of questions. I want to get your opinion on the idea of collaboration over competition and what that may represent to you, if anything.
Collaboration. So collaborating instead of competing with each other.
Yes, sir.
I think competition brings out the best in individuals, but I think overall collaboration is the benefit for everybody, right? So the competition helps the individual. The collaboration helps the team. And we're all American citizens, so overall we're all on the same team. So when I hear that concept, I think of steel sharpens steel, iron sharpens iron.
Can't do nothing great alone.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, for the second end of this question, I always like to ask, in our community, it's hard for us to come together. So I'm wondering, do you got any advice on how we can encourage others to come together to collaborate more rather than compete?
My formula, which is the answer to your question, is coming together starts with the individual in the mirror, looking in the mirror first. Most of us have vices. Most of us have flaws that we ignore, trying to go out and fix the community, fix the world. Most of us have relationship problems. We're in the house with a woman. We're in the house with our children, but we're online on platforms trying to save and fix the world. But we didn't wake up this morning. We didn't make our bed. We didn't meditate. We didn't pray. We didn't eat right. We didn't apologize for the people we hurt inside of our homes. But we're out trying to fix the world. So I'm telling everybody, if you want to fix the world, turn around and go in the house first. Yes, turn around, because charity starts in the home. Go and apologize to your kids, because we ain't always right as parents. And our children grow up with some complaints about our parenting that we never hear until they get grown. We have a spouse, we have a significant other who we've wronged in the house, but we're out trying to fix the world. And on top of that, we have some inner issues, whether those are insecurities or whether that's whatever. We're ignoring what we see in the mirror, dress up, get pretty, and go out and try to fix the world. So if you want to fix the world, Michael Jackson made a perfect storm. It starts with the man in the mirror.
There we go. Start at home, y'all. Make
your in the mirror. Yeah, make your own bed. Cut your own grass. When you come out, make it your obligation in your business. Say, hey, neighbor, speak to both neighbors. The one across the street. It starts there. It starts with the neighbor who been at work all day who left their trash can out. You can easily grab a trash can and put it on the side where you get your, homie. So I tell myself that all the time. Man, you can put your neighbor trash up.
Start even something small.
Yeah. Start up picking up trash in the neighborhood, on your street. I see an old couple do it in my neighborhood once a month.
So ain't no excuses. Everybody can do it, even if it's just the smallest thing.
Yeah.
Okay. So when talking collaborating, I'm wondering if you can speak on the importance of having a strong team when striving for success. I see you recently make some changes with your management, but I'm wondering, could you just speak on, the power of having a strong team when, striving for success?
Nobody's made it in life successful alone.
Thanks.
Nobody. This world wasn't designed for one person to be great by themselves, without anybody collaborating with them, without anybody helping them, with anybody assisting them. We have to work together. We don't all have to agree. We don't even have to like each other. It's just like a bunch of people at work. Most people don't like their supervisors. Most people complain about the executives over the company. Most people complain about the pay. Most people complain about the benefits. Most people complain about other colleagues. But guess what? They all show up in this building and they all work together with all of those differences to make sure that this company keep the doors and the lights open so we can keep getting paid. A mother and father have to collaborate with one another, even when they feel like they hate each other, in the best interest of making this family work. We have to apply that same concept to our communities, to our neighborhoods, to our schools, and even to our society. So I believe we can separate and still work together. I believe I can live on this side of town and you live on that side of town, and we have an issue in the city, and we meet downtown to fix it and collaborate together.
Yeah. No, I love that point. Being in the community, whether we know it or not, we all got to uphold our part for this community to function.
It's not an obligation; it's a duty.
Yes.
You live here.
Yes.
You got kids here. Yes. So when you have something of value and you have some stake in the community, it's a duty. If you riding down the street and you see 3 or 4 kids and Captain D about to fight, it's a duty to stop and look. Hey, y'all stop! Say y'all quit and go. Yeah, that's a duty.
Yeah, and it ain't talked about enough. It ain't talked about enough. So I'm glad you brought that up. Now we talk about community a lot, but I'm wondering, you got any advice on how the average citizen can help improve their community? I know we just talked about starting small.
You said a very key word: the average citizen.
Average citizen.
Citizens have rights. Citizens have duties. Citizens have obligations. Ideology-wise, we don't see ourselves as citizens anymore. Because we're more identified and classified as the American consumers. So we hear more about the plight of the American consumers. And you don't hear much about the citizens of America, right? So when you ask me a question, where can a citizen start out? It start out with voting. Now I know they say voting don't count. Homie, it literally starts with voting. That's the starting line to changing and transforming anything in the community. Understanding your civic duties.
Facts. And I want to say one thing I recently did last year, and it really gave me a new perspective. I reached out. I got invited to a civic engagement academy. So this is the city of Wichita. They offer civic engagement for people who want to sign up and learn more about the community. I learned so much stuff, and voting was number one.
Man, listen, this is why I love white people. Now listen, because I learned the value of understanding politics as well as participating in politics and even collaborating across the aisles, right? Man, they taught me about block walking, phone banking, election judge, alternate judges, learning the election rules, understanding how to get a bill signed into legislation. The average man can put a law into place, and you don't even know that. You can write an idea that can turn into a bill, that can turn into legislation from just collaborating at these civic conventions, right? These civic meetings. When I understood how powerful it is to have the knowledge and information as well as the application of your civic duties, I made it my business to vote in every local election. I'm going to know every candidate up there. I'm going to the debates. I'm watching what the news saying about them. I'm volunteering to be an alternative judge at the elections. Because I end up being the main judge at the elections. So, man, I got it. And so I understand that the power of annexation. I understand the power of redistricting, rezoning, redlining. It made me a proud American and equipped me to break racial barriers by teaching this to other black people and saying, if we really want to change something in America, we have to go back to the starting line where our people started at, voting.
And starting locally, that's where it's going to affect you most.
Yeah.
And learning locally.
That's the direct impact.
Yes, and learning locally helped me understand it more on a national scale politics.
Yeah.
Because all we learn is about the national part, but we forget about the local part. Which is making a big impact to your streets.
I went national first, right? So I was going to Washington D.C. I became part of a youth advocacy program that was called Campaign Fair Sentencing for Youth. It's a Washington D.C. based program that deals with a lot of laws and legislation governing juvenile laws in America. Under that umbrella, they formed the organization that I also became a part of that was called ICANN, Incarcerated Children's Advocacy Network. And the motto of ICANN is no child is born bad, right? So I did a lot of youth advocacy by way of national legislation, going to Washington, D.C. every year and spending a week on Capitol Hill doing a national convening, learning terms and terminologies where we can walk Capitol Hill and go into our U.S. congressional member's office and our state senator's office and petition and solicit them to join us to support this bill, to get these bills passed. And ultimately, after 3 years of going to Washington, D.C., to these national convenings, we worked with over 50 U.S. congressional members and senators, ultimately ended up getting juvenile life without parole abolished in America. So they equipped me and gave me the knowledge and the power. My mother gave me the direction. She said, son, charity starts in the home. I'm going all around the country, homie, doing from state to state doing legislation. And so I came back home and put the youth program in the community. So I went from intervention to prevention, right? As well as I started taking the youth advocacy into local politics. So I started partnering with the local Fort Worth Police Department, the local colleges, the Texas Juvenile Justice Department, the churches. So I went to every aspect and every level of institutions in our society, the parole office, juvenile, school, churches, homes, courts. And then I went to legislations. And so I started partnering with people like the Texas Criminal Justice Coalition, working on state laws, trying to get the age jurisdiction of juveniles from 17 to 18, where 17-year-olds are no longer thrown into the adult criminal system and have to deal with all of this as a 17-year-old kid and can't join the army. So I started working with policymakers and policy analysts here in Texas, and learned a lot about politics. I became a campaign manager for Albert McDaniels when he ran against State Senator Nicole Collier for the Tarrant County GOP Republican Party. I was nominated to be an executive member for the Republican Party of Texas with the African American engagement part of what they was doing. Before Judge Alex Kimball became judge, a very well-renowned Republican Asian judge from the Asian community. We was tight, so I come online to play, but in the midst of playing and having fun and acting an ignorant fool, I throw in some comedy, I throw in some statistical data, I throw in some history, I throw in some BS. I put it all in one pot. Hoping that the bright minds could see what they need to see, the ignorant and dumb can see what they need to see, and everybody see what they need to see. But at the end of the day, it's entertainment. So when you say, hey, I ain't trying to go viral, I come with some legitimate questions of collaboration, and you see what you get from me. You get a serious guy with some serious answers.
No, I love that perspective. It is interesting, because the character and the entertainment is what get the views. But what we talk about, this is stuff they really need to be talking about.
That's why in America, our public school teachers are struggling because they can't be innovative in the way that they can teach. It's boring. When I got to community college, I had a professor Dr. Geoffrey Mitchell. He seemed radical, but he was a conservative Republican. He taught me conservatism and he taught me liberalism. And he let me pick. But in the process of going, and he was strict. Man, he was strict. He didn't play. He didn't coddle. And I resented him. Because he seemed like the type of father would spank you and punish you. But I also wished that I could have a man like that in my life. So I never missed his class. And he never would speak to me. That was the boy in me who wanted to be coddled. He handled me like a man. But he would jump on the tables as he taught. He created a character in class that captivated us. Man, that's where I learned about politics. U.S. government, Texas politics. He equipped me for the journey.
In today's times, with social media and everything going on, you gotta find an innovative way to educate these kids.
Look at the preacher. Look at the preacher. He have to be dynamic. Well, everything has to have some type of method. The smile now, cry later face. When you're getting ready to go to work and you're dressing up and you and your wife done had a fight, you're a supervisor at work. You got to go in the supervisor character. Whatever your job is, you got to play that role while you're there. When you leave work, you come out of character.
Yep. In order to conduct yourself, in the society.
Come on, man. So I gained this understanding from being a black male child born in America with no identity from a father, watching other characters trying to find what man I want to be like. I've been looking at all these different characters trying to, which one of these men I want to be like. I saw the Cosbys. I saw Fred Sanford. I saw Carl Winslow. I saw the three guys who had the two daughters with the two little girls, the first Olsen twin. I saw all these characters. I saw Tupac. I saw Big Daddy Kane. I saw Pimpin' King. I saw all these characters.
And that's the same situation for a lot of kids in America. Sometimes their life turns out on the characters they chose to follow until they learn the truth, if ever.
Well, until they see the right man they want to try to become like. Most kids have a father they aspire to grow up and be like or be better than. So if you don't have anything to aspire to be like and be better than, when you quit playing football and you can't become Walter Payton, then what? When you blow your knee out and can't become Michael Jordan, then what? Then what? So when you have to go back to your community because you didn't make it to the league, you didn't graduate from college, you got fired off the job, now you're coming back, what do you look at to try to be like then? What man do you know have overcame adversities and became something? What do you look at him at and studying? So I've been looking at all the wrong characters till I start trying to find me. I was trying to be everything else because I didn't know who I was. I didn't know how to be Charleston among other men. I became what the culture was. I became what the environment was. So I never knew how to say no to peer pressure. I never knew how to say, man, that's not true, you're lying. When everybody else knew, you see what I'm saying? But when I found me, an honest man, a dignified brother, no, man, I'm comfortable in this world now as Charleston. I don't have a nickname. I'm Charleston. I don't have street rules that I follow. I obey the law. I don't have a man that's standing before me and God. I don't need to go to the preacher if my mother needs help to pray. I pray for mama. I go to God. When I found me, it set me on a path to becoming a man. But what positioned me to find me was that I started having children. And I wanted to be, I didn't know anything about being a good father or a bad father. I just wanted to be there. I didn't want to be absent. And in the process of having that desire of not wanting to be absent, the kids taught me how to be a father when I was wrong. So from there, I discovered that there was a great man inside of me that really don't want to hurt people, that really don't want to shoot up nobody mama house. I really didn't like being a part of the gang. I just wanted to collaborate.
Yeah. And see, that's what excites me about your journey, seeing the transformation that you've been able to make. And, being that I'm so, passionate about the criminal justice, that's why I want to sit down and talk with you. So, you are the...
I dropped that, brother. I dropped that. I was studying criminal justice. I was on the pre-law lane. I had great aspirations to go into Texas Wesleyan University Law School. And then I discovered a purpose.
Yeah.
I discovered a purpose.
I was going to say, you kind of the embodiment of my motto. I'm just trying to be the change that I want to see in the system. You can only affect so much. So, just trying to be the change that you want to see. And, just hopefully, you can affect somebody out there, with what you're doing through your purpose.
I had a Jewish attorney out of New Jersey who taught me that concept. Charleston, you go back and become the change that you want to see. Because at first I would ride with the preachers, I became what I wanted to see. Everybody got all the answers, homie. How to fix this, homie, no, I went and became the change that I wanted to see. And I thank her for that.
The best way to do it. Now, I know we was talking entertainment for a minute, but I see you're in the comedy now. You're officially a comedian. So I wonder
officially.
I wonder how has being a comedian been, and has it came natural for you, or is it hard?
It came natural. I knew at some point I have to get off the internet. Charleston have to get off the internet, but Charleston's not on the internet. Charleston brought a character to the internet. I didn't know if this character would be a detriment to everything that I've worked for in the community. The people here know me. But perception is reality. And even though reality has nothing to do with the truth, it's just a perception, right? So I knew I want to be in a movie. And I knew from being online and social media, garnering the type of attention that I've gotten, I can sell in a movie. So I had to find a way to get off the internet, because the internet started shadow banning me, started censoring me. And then at one time, I made $0 from all this content I'm putting out on the internet. But other people was making millions of dollars over the last 2 years. So I had to evolve. You can only be an internet sensation, 2 to 3 years before that fizzles out. I'm 4 years, right? I'm past the threshold of a sensation. And so the last year, I've been working to find out, well, how can I do stand-up? How can I become a comedian? I've studied all the great comedians. That's how I know about satire comedy. That's how I know about shock jock. I come up acting, pretending to be something from these characters who play these characters, right? And so the internet helped me to evolve, right? The internet gave me a name of the character instead of Charleston White, Rat Williams, right? Oh, okay. It makes sense. I got Charleston White over here doing great interviews with Frederick Freeman, doing great interviews with Anton Daniels. Rat Williams goes online, say all this offensive shit. He gets the interviews by the Say Cheese TVs and all the young hip-hop crowd. That's Rat Williams. But what we gonna put on stage? Because Rat Williams can't go on stage and you get him to the internet too. So I brought a new character, Chicken Shit Charlie. Where did you get Chicken Shit Charlie from? Well, ever since I've been on the internet, they've been saying I'm the new Uncle Ruckus. I can't go get on Boondocks, so why not create a whole new... So I got Chicken Shit Charlie in the cowboy boots, the coveralls, the Confederate flag, cowboy hat. He hate everybody but love white people and love America. So this is what the internet helped me to create, because this is what they've been asking for. Very few people tell me what you tell me, brother. I'm not trying to go viral for the views. I'm looking for some answers and some solutions. So if you can leave the character over there and give me the man, homie, not many people ask that. If you go back and watch this, I was taken aback. I really was relieved.
Is it almost like pressure when you're doing interviews, knowing that they looking for the clickbait, knowing that,
I'd be disappointed.
Yeah.
I'd be disappointed. I'd be saddened. That's why. So.
And it was hard for me trying to figure out questions for the interview because it's like, I want to maintain my, my honor, my platform,
Say, homie, I studied Dick Gregory his last 8 years of his life. Now, since he's dead, I'm studying the young Dick Gregory, right? The comedian Dick, right? Man, if you watch some of Dick Gregory's last interviews, he would cuss them. Man, he would cuss a person out, asking him dumb, stupid questions. He would tell you, man, I'm part of this. I've done this. And you gonna get me on here and ask me this? So I would be saddened, homie, to say, man, these guys, if they've done any background, they see what I really do in real life. It's documented. Man, I'm in schools talking to this day. And so when they get me on there, and they don't ask me nothing about, well, do you really work on capital murder cases? Yeah, homie, I assist with attorney Mitch Nolte, Shannon Ross, criminal defense litigation specialist, and not only assisting young males who commit capital murder who may be fit in life, I also help with the young brothers got 4, 5, 6, 7 robbery cases that's looking at 60 years and 18 years old. So I help compile these mitigating factors from going to talk to the mother, because these white people can't go in the hood and the people are going to comfortably feel giving them this information. They think they working with the people. So they use me to go in there and say, man, listen, they really trying to help your son. And I go interview him in jail. Man, listen, these white people really trying to help you. I know you think they this, homie. They really trying to help you. I mean, listen to me. And so I tell them, homie, we trying to save your life, brother. So they never asked that. So I just give them what they want, homie. So I already know when somebody pays $7,500, homie, they paying for the views. So I'm gonna give them. I'm gonna do good business with them. But if you let me know, I don't want you cussing, because I want to follow rules. I'm not gonna come and disrespect your platform. But if you let me know you trying to get views and viral, you're gonna get
it. The character, huh? And we're gonna get more into some criminal justice talks. But I know you speak a lot about rappers. I want to get your top 5 rappers of all time. Top 5 rappers of all time.
Tupac. Rakim.
Tupac, Rakim.
T.I.
Yeah, okay.
Run from Run DMC. And that white boy from the Beastie Boys. I'm going to say the Beastie Boy. I'm going to say the whole Beastie Boy. Yeah, because, Robert, I remember when the Beastie Boys came out there first. No, boy, that's what really introduced me to rap, the Beastie Boy.
I ain't heard too much about them.
Oh, man. Yeah. Now, they're my top 5, homie.
Okay. So for my next question, we know that you're passionate about the community, but I'm wondering, what is that passion to get back to the community when you're speaking to you? Where does that come from?
I lost my passion. Because I had to fight the community, homie, to help the community. See, the people who really help the community don't get help from the community. The preacher that's really trying to keep the door, they don't get the help. The grassroots, the boots on the ground community people don't get the help. So they become angry like I did. They get burnt out. They lose their passion because what's happening is you can see the change. You can see the effect. But everybody around you think you're talking to you like you're dumb and stupid because they can't see the effect because you're struggling doing it. Most people who really got the heart, the passion, the commitment, the dedication, the wherewithal, the ideas, the time, and the energy to really help our communities, they don't have the financial support and they don't have the big donors giving them the money. I want people to understand that a nonprofit is a hustle. If you really want to help your community, don't get a nonprofit. familiar with nonprofits aren't helping their communities. And if you think I'm lying, go read this book by the Jewish Council called The Revolution Will Not Be Funded. In this book called The Revolution Will Not Be Funded, I was given this book by the executive director of the Annie Casey Foundation. And if you, that's the big dog. The big dog is the Annie Casey. Bart LeBeau, very powerful man out of Washington, D.C. I spent 2 days at his house. Before I left, I was looking at all these books about social justice. And this one book caught my interest. Because as a black man, we've always been told that the revolution will not be televised. They lied to us. They didn't foresee cameras and iPhones. The revolution will be televised. The revolution won't be funded. All the people that can help the community will never have the money to help the community. They will forever be beggars. The beggar is a slave to the lender. So let me break it down. In this book called The Revolution Will Not Be Funded, and I advise and suggest any black person that want to help black people to read it, they break down what they call the non-profit industrial complex. I'm going to say it again. Non-profit industrial complex. Now, this might bring the FBI back to my door for giving out this information, but hey, I'm for the people. Don't tread on me. So listen, homie. So in this book, it breaks down why nonprofits were created to hinder and control social movements. Nonprofits was created in response to the civil rights movement. So that's why they say, Reverend, black preachers, come on over here to the government. The government and the preacher is supposed to be separate by way of church and state being separate. They are not supposed to get in bed with each other. Follow me now. Come here, Dr. King. Y'all come on down here. Now y'all got all these black people in Washington, D.C. on this mall. Tell them we would take the Jim Crow signs down. We're going to give you guys some money and help you guys fund the movement. From there, we quit fighting for equal rights and equal protection under the law to make us equal. To make us equal. They said we'll take the signs down. And from there, it became about integration. And we lost. So let me bring you up to speed. President George Bush, I love him, W. He's my favorite Bush, and the mama Bush. Because she was the boss. Now, George the daddy wasn't the boss. Mama Bush, really, y'all got to read these people's life stories, homie. I done read all of them. From Hitler, so let me stay where I'm at. So, bring you up to where we're at now. Our U.S. government created this horrible idea of a faith-based initiative where our government goes and get in the bed with the church. One of the greatest atrocities done to the American institutions. So now we got this faith-based initiative, and now the preachers are coming with new sermons called prosperity preaching, because now they are tax exempt. Now they taking up 2 and 3 collection plates. They got a fund for this because the government says, hey, y'all ain't got to pay taxes on their money. So now our church members are in bed with our government officials. So now, anytime something happens, who do our government run to? Reverend, preacher boy, deacon. Deacon comes back and says, hey, y'all, listen, let me tell y'all something. Because he done got the money. He done been bought and paid by way of faith-based initiative. So here come you and I. We're not a church. We just want a 501c3. Where do we go to get funding? We have to go to the police departments, CCPD funding. Well, how do we know how to get the money? We don't. So where that leave us? Like the preacher, begging and asking for money, but we don't have a congregation. But we have a community. We have a neighborhood. We have an apartment complex. They are your constituents. So when you show up to Walmart and you show up to Chick-fil-A saying, hey, can I get some donations and sponsorships? They saying, well, why don't your constituents give you any money? Meaning your people, your black people from your hood. Why you can't get no money from them? So in this book, it'll break down to you. That's why most nonprofits are restricted to receiving money from people. And they already poor. When they start to get these donations, and they break this down in the book. What do? They go get a new car. That's why they go get a new car. All nonprofits upgrade the car. Then they set their own wage, but they fail to learn to itemize. You have to itemize because this was going to send you to federal prison, poor person. And the federal government know this. That's why they get everybody in 501 get your tax ID. So check this out, right? So you're going to go get you a new car. Now you're having lunch meetings. I vividly remember this book saying that majority of nonprofits spend 95% of their money on overhead, salary, dinner, office furniture, computers, copy machines, paper clips, copy paper, toilet tissue, and only 5% actually goes back into helping the community. They go for goodwill. You name a nonprofit, it goes for. That's why all these CEOs of these big nonprofits make millions.
What's the name of that book again?
The revolution will not be funded.
Okay. Y'all go check that out. The revolution will not be
funded. So once I got that concept, I let my nonprofit go, and I became the strongest black man this city have ever seen. Because the old man told me the strongest man in the land is the man who wake up every day and ain't got to beg nobody for nothing. So I despise nonprofits. I despise a person with a nonprofit, poor and broke. You're an oxymoron. How can you help anybody broke with all your passion? You're going to become resentful. You're going to become angry. And that's what somebody told me. 5 years into it, we was at a conference at the Texas Juvenile Justice Department in San Marcos. I was the keynote speaker. Man, they do standing ovations when I speak. They hear all this passion. But it was somebody watching me and no, man, he's too pure. You know what he told me afterwards? He said, Charleston, if you don't put no business with all that passion, you're going to get burned out and become angry. And that's when I came to the...
See, me personally, I don't have a nonprofit or nothing, but I always say, I'm showing y'all what I can do on a shoestring budget. So for me, like, my passion is my purpose. So, I pray I never get burnt out, but for me, it's just purpose.
Well, this is what, and this is what the small Jewish attorney told me, right? And she was training me on all these legislations. She said, Charleston, homie, she was teaching me how to go back to my city to be strong amongst black people. She said, I never knew what white privilege was. When this little Jewish white woman talk, I would argue, man, white people ain't got no privilege. She taught me about white privilege. She taught me how to look at every child and apply the my child test to every child. I was all passion, homie. No direction, no. So this is what she taught me, but it started ringing years later. She said, Charleston, you have to figure out a way to be self-sustainable. Your organization have to sustain itself, because what if you say something to make your sponsors mad and they take your sponsorship and there you go? Then other people are helping taking care of black people. Charleston, you got to figure out how to take care of black people with black people's help. When she said that, I thought about the hoes selling pussy on Tyranny Road. I thought about, excuse my language, I thought about the gangbanging guys in the projects selling weed and drugs at the park. So that's what made me change my tune and start saying, I'll do this. Because it was an extortion method that I was trying. So the community started helping me, homie. I started saying something like, man, y'all ain't finna sell dope around here, and I'm over here giving away backpacks. So I would never ask the community for nothing. I would never go to the same people that I'm trying to help and ask them for some money to help them. So I don't understand why the preachers do it. You know everybody coming here poor. Why would you be asking them for some money to help fund you to help them? They didn't ask for your help. You showed them saying you want to help, so you will find out how to help without asking them for help.
I see we got about 15 minutes left. I want to get these two questions. I wonder how do you manage or maintain your mental health with all the social media attention that you get?
I smoke a lot. I smoke a lot of CBD for the anxiety, and I go to strip clubs and pay tithes. Yeah, I take my tithes to the strip club, and boy, I tell you every time, and I don't really drink, right? But the gluteus maximus and the nice physiques of the women body is like going to the altar, talking to the Catholic priest, and then all you seeing that on the table and waking up like a new man.
Would you have you ever tried, or would you try therapy?
Yeah, I tried therapy. But in my mind, the person that provided therapy with me need therapy too. Just because he went, yeah, well, in my mind, that's another human. That human have flaws just like me. They just hiding them. When this human get out with, they finna drink some wine. They're gonna masturbate, fornicate. What I need therapy for him for? I go within. You have to know how to check self. When God created man was never created to have another man to therapy him, another man to govern him. It was supposed to be self-governance. That's what I mean by the man in the mirror. You don't need laws. You don't need ordinances. You don't need restrictions when you self-govern from looking at what you see in the mirror. So I know what I need to set me right. I know when I done told a lie. I know when I done wrong. I don't need nobody else to tell me. I know to check me. Yeah. People who can't hold themselves accountable need another motherfucker playing like they can hold them accountable. Man, the person that's your therapist, they doing a job. And the job puts them in the box that they can't even think outside of.
That's deep. Now, for my last one, I'm wondering, how does Charleston White, how would you like to be remembered? Everything you're doing, how you want to be remembered, when all this shit go down?
The unorthodox Peter Pan that didn't sleep in the bed with the kid like Michael Jackson. Michael Jackson was our Peter Pan. Michael Jackson was our Peter Pan. And that's why you hear me say, I'm the new Michael Jackson. I'm Michael Jackson bad. I'm not tough. I'm not gangster. I'm referenced as being Michael Jackson bad. One of the most humble, meek, mild people that we knew. But his legacy was tainted because he had such a love for children. And he shared his bed with them. He played with them because in all actuality, he never got to be a child. Listen to me. I never got to be a child, homie. I never got to be a child. I fell in the washing machine when I was 5 years old. I put my eye out when I was 7. By the time I was in 6th grade, homie, I didn't go to school. I was in and out the hospital. I never got to be a child. So by the time I get to school at 12 and 14, I'm gone for murder. I never got to be a kid. I never got to play in the hallways. I didn't get to socialize in high school. I'm reliving my childhood, homie. That's why it seems like I'm having fun. I'm back in my youth. I'm Michael Jackson all over again, homie. Except I fuck with the kids. I just ain't sleeping in the bed with them. So I've been studying so I don't taint my legacy. More people caught up in what I'm saying. Nobody's saying what I do. They were saying what Michael Jackson did. He slept with kids in the bed. People are stuck on what I'm saying, not what I do.
Yeah. No, I definitely love that. Being that, we have been talking about criminal justice and community, I've definitely love to see that side, more of that from you, even just visual wise. And if we can collaborate to do anything community wise, I'm always gonna get back.
I want to. I would love to partner with you and collaborate.
Yeah, every year my bail bond business, we do get back events, man. So that's what we all about.
That's the Chicago branch of the Black Panthers. Fred Hampton. Briefly in the movie about Fred Hampton, they showed you how powerful one can be when they're willing to collaborate. It even bring your enemies to the table to bring peace. We may not become friends, but we can usher in peace by collaborating. Yeah. So I'm just playing the role of a fool, homie. And when called to be, I come out of character. But I try not to do it online. Because what happens online is if you don't have a character to hide behind, then the internet ends up assassinating a man. So the character sits on the internet, and the man exists in real life. So when you asked for what you wanted, I gave it to you, homie. And this is what I prefer this more than anything.
Yeah, so like I said, I appreciate you taking the time out your busy schedule to come sit with us. Let's keep pushing this message of collaboration over competition, community. Just trying to be the change that we want to see. So,
black love unifies everybody.
Black love, yes.
It unifies everybody. It brings the white people to the table, the Mexicans. It brings everybody to the table because what we're saying is we're not mad at nobody. We're trying to fix us. When we start loving on each other, we don't worry about who done us wrong.
Yep. When we're better for everyone. The world, the community, and ourselves.
Yeah. See, because I didn't grow up in the household fighting my brother and my sister. We didn't talk about my mother didn't allow that. There's a lot of brothers and sisters grew up fighting. They had different fathers. So it's the divide and conquer have always worked. And so have collaboration. We just haven't applied it.
Facts. And that's what I'm trying to, that's what we're trying to do here with this platform. I'm trying to set the standard, trying to, show people the way. A lot of people want to collaborate. Some don't know how. It definitely deep.
So I appreciate you for having me, brother, for being able to have some thought-provoking questions that shows the man Charleston White in a different light compared to the character.
Yes, sir. I definitely appreciate you, my man. And you have the blessed rest of your day.
You too, brother.
All right, stay blessed.
Peace. Great interview. Great.